Welcome back to Coming This Summer. Jay Martin talking about Mean Girls, not Mean Girls 2. Yes, that's a movie. I am all by myself because me and Ryan have this thing we do where we each get 1 or 2 vetoes a year for a movie we really don't want to see. And he came right out of the gate with his veto and didn't want to watch Mean Girls. I have a couple kids and one that's super in the theater, so I was going to see the movie either way. So I told him I'd take this one for him. So here we go with Mean Girls. Better late than never. Action! This is one of those movies that didn't really need a remake, I feel like. Yeah, it's been 20 years, but why? Yes, I know money. But I mean, the first one's a classic. At least a cult classic. I think everybody's seen it. But we're currently in the age of, is that a recognizable IP? Okay, cool, let's make that again. The first issue with the movie, and this was a problem initially when it came out in theaters in January, was they didn't lean into the musical part of it in marketing. The trailers, especially the first couple, barely showed any song or dance and made you think it was almost a straight remake of the original movie. But it's definitely a musical, like 100% a musical. Even the title is just Mean Girls. It should have been Mean Girls the Musical. Aside from changing minor things to update because it's been 20 years, it's pretty close to the same movie as the original. If you've seen the musical or you're into musicals, then I think this is pretty much the Broadway stage musical. But either way, it was basically Mean Girls. If you've seen the first movie, you know what's going to happen. You know who the characters are. You know the plot. For the most part, the cast is decent, but not as good as the original cast. Although I did like this version's Cady, Angourie Rice, who's in Spider-Man. She's Betty in the MCU Spider-Man movies. She was great. I thought she killed it as Cady. Most of the cast was really good. I don't think the 3 main girls, Regina, Karen, Gretchen, I didn't think they were as good as the originals. I did think that I really liked the friends, including, here we go with my pronunciation again, Auli'i Cravalho. Anyway, Moana. She's Moana. She was great as Cady's friend, Janis. But, you know, it's hard to review a movie that's almost exactly the same as the original because it's the original but with songs. And it's the original but with updated jokes for the year 2024. It's also a little self-referencing, a little meta for the first movie too, where they make little jokes about it not being the first time that this entire thing has happened before. But outside of that, there's really no callbacks to the first movie. At the end of the day, it just comes across as existing, I guess, unfortunately. Like, it's not a bad movie, but it's not a great movie, and it clearly seems like it was made with purely a cash grab mindset, which I know that's why they make movies, but I mean, like, purely cash grab. I think I'd give the original Mean Girls probably a 7 out of 10. This one, if you like musicals or the original Mean Girls, you're probably going to like this movie. Otherwise, I'd probably give this, based just on the movie, 6.5 out of 10. And honestly, that's a lot higher than I thought going into it. I really didn't want to watch this either. I like the first Mean Girls movie, but it's not like something I have to see. And I had really no interest in seeing this and figured it was going to be worse than it was. But it was better than I expected. So that's like a positive 6.5. Anyway, Mean Girls 2024 just dropped on Paramount Plus. Go check it out and tell us what you think.
Ghostbusting action. We needed that song. America needed Ghostbusters.
This is pure nostalgia factor.
Yep.
We start out,
Yep.
The characters you know and love from Afterlife are all active Ghostbusters in New York City.
From the end of the first one, they hinted and basically said, we're heading to New York.
I don't know why.